In our contemporary time, it is not something that is surprising to come across someone who they don't believe in God. A person who doesn't believe in God is called an atheist. And it is not surprising whether in Zambia, in Africa, or in Europe, some have come out in open and they say that they don't believe in God. And these people, they question the rationality of believing in God. In fact, they state openly that believing in God is something that is irrational. This is based on their conviction to say God does not exist, and we do not need to trouble ourselves to believe in God who does not exist, or a person who doesn't exist, or a being or a spirit, you know. And in fact, they go a bit further, claiming that God is just the creation of our mind. Our mind just generates this, idea, this notion to say there's a God who exists somewhere. The reasons also that they bring about is the issue on human suffering. They say if God truly existed and that God is so loving, there wouldn't have been suffering in the world. Like going a bit further, another argument which they bring about is the argument on freedom. Some they feel okay. If I believe in God, some things that I'm supposed to fulfill, they claim that they feel constrained. Therefore, to be in a relationship with this God that you are talking about, it is just an illusion. It is just something that is just going on in our minds. It is not something that is real as such. you know. And in our time, one prominent argument tried to propagate is that now we have science. Therefore, all the mysteries of religion have been solved because science has been able to explain everything. Therefore, science has managed to get rid of religion. It has managed to get rid of this belief in the divine. And this is coming from the background where or just some other cosmic bodies or anything that is created to be God. And for instance, like the sun, because they couldn't measure or they couldn't conceive the distance from the earth to where the sun is. Therefore, considering the sun as a deity, as a god, because they couldn't reach there. Therefore, they were having the notion to say that was God. But meanwhile, in our time, science has been able to explain and have been able to measure the distance from the Earth to where the sun is, and to some of where the stars are or some other planets. And science has also made some good achievements in the area of medicine. It has been able to discover different kinds of medicines that treat different kinds of diseases, mention them. And this itself, for our friends who say that they don't believe in God, they take natural science as a whole to say it has eliminated, this God that you have been believing in, because science works and science is progressive. These are difficult points which they usually bring about, or some of these issues which I have mentioned. These are difficult issues that you cannot just answer with a naive response. You really need to have some basis, you need to have some grounds, or you can engage them in any of the discussions. But most of these issues that I have mentioned attributed to probably the misinterpretation of scripture, reading the Bible literally. The Bible is not to be taken as a book of history or a book of science. No, the Bible is the revealed word of God written in a human language, and it has to be read properly. It has to be interpreted properly. For instance, if someone reads the Gospel of Matthew chapter 5 verses 30, it says that if your hand causes you to sin, then cut it off. Now just imagine the kind of world that we're going to have had it been that each person, whenever they sin, then they have to cut off one of their limbs. And I think the world could have been full of people without limbs. Meanwhile, this is a figurative language which is trying to express something. Yes, it has to be understood properly and it has to be interpreted properly. The problem comes when we separate faith and reason, science and religion. People have created this unnecessary separation that has generated other problems. For instance, if someone separates faith from reason, there's a high possibility of someone becoming a fundamentalist. And when someone becomes a fundamentalist, they just have a very rigid mindset. They are not willing to entertain other people's beliefs. They are not willing to consider other worldviews from other people. And when it happens like this is where some people can end up killing themselves in the name of God, or defending God, or defending the Bible, and so forth and so on. And also fundamentalism is one of the common trends that is growing in our time. When people have gone to the hospitals and have been checked and medicines have been given to them, probably on the way they just stop, because one of their leaders has taught them to say they should stop taking medication because they have been healed. And these are some of the things that bring about this unnecessary conflict between science and religion. There's nothing wrong for someone who is a believer in God to take medicine and to pray. There's no contradiction whatsoever. Many people have died as a result of this. Fundamentalism has got this effect of brainwashing people. When someone gets to be brainwashed, they just find it difficult to just accept views that probably oppose what they believe in, which is a very dangerous view. The other extreme that we may talk about is where someone just gets science as the only source of knowledge. This is a very dangerous worldview because it nullifies and undermines the knowledge that comes from other social sciences like history, sociology, anthropology, and just other sciences, which do not necessarily use the scientific method in coming to their conclusions. If we separate faith and reason, it creates a problem for us. For instance, if we go the science way only, science does not answer certain questions. Science cannot tell us what is wrong aborting a fetus. It cannot tell us anything that is wrong from there. But religion can give us a criteria that can help us to judge this act of abortion. But science on its own, it is inadequate. It cannot tell us how wrong this act can be. Therefore, for us to live a meaningful life, for us to live a well-integrated life, we need to use the two sources of knowledge as sources that can help us to come to the truth. These ways tries to explain reality from different perspectives. So let us not confuse the two by trying to uplift one and undermining the other.